Hi everyone, my name is Emily. I'm a psychic medium, an intuitive mentor, a psychic development coach for women, an energy healer, an Akashic Records reader, and more. And here in this channel, I talk about things all mystical, magical, cosmic, and galactic to help you live a lifestyle inspired by the magic of the cosmos, just like I do. In today's video, we're talking all about cord cutting, what it is from an energetic perspective, from an emotional perspective, why you need this incredible healing modality in your life, how it can help you, how to cut significant cords in your own life, and how it's going to bring you an even deeper level of healing for you within your own relationships. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm talking about a topic today that I'm really passionate about because there's a little bit of misconception about this topic within the spiritual community, and I am here to share with you my own experience, my own level of knowledge when it comes to this topic, which is cord cutting. So cord cutting, from a very basic definition, it is an energy healing modality where we cut cords of attachment to significant people, places, and things in our life. So the reason why cord cutting is so important is because it brings you an even deeper level of healing in your life, especially if you have been through traumatic or intense relationships, experiences, or really want to heal from a specific event that has happened to you in the past. So today we're talking specifically about cord cutting for negative cords of attachment. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a definition and an understanding of what a negative cord of attachment is and why cutting them can bring you a whole new level of release and understanding in your life. So a negative cord of attachment is formed between you and either a person, a place, an animal, or a significant event that you have had a significant interaction with. So the most prominent example are significant relationships in your life. So those could be with your parents, those could be with a guardian or somebody who raised you. They could be with your siblings. They could be with an ex-partner or with your current partner. They could be with a coach or a mentor or a teacher that was a significant person to you in the past. Now, the reason why we're talking about negative energy cords of attachment today is because these are the energetic cords that we want to cut. We also have positive cords to significant people, places, and things in our lives that we cannot cut, that we cannot release, because those cords contain energy dynamics that help us learn life lessons and that contribute positive feelings and emotions and dynamics into our lives. So today we're specifically talking about negative cords of attachment. So you will form a negative cord of attachment with, again, any significant people, places, things, events, or animals in your life. And the negative cord is simply an energetic structure that contains negative emotions, patterns, and dynamics that flow back and forth between you and the person, place, thing, or animal, or on the other side. Now, I'm just going to continue to use people as an example because this is the most common type of negative cord that we want to cut. And we can contribute actively to the negative emotions and dynamics within these cords when we interact with people, with these people, within our relationships on a daily and lifelong basis. We can also have negative cords of attachment to people who have passed away. The cords don't simply disappear. When somebody passes away, they can and still live on because they are an energetic structure. So again, these aren't cords that you see with your physical eyes. They are energy structures. And they can take on different physical forms. And by physical, I mean as an energy practitioner, I can see them in my mind's eye taking on different structures and different forms, such as a rope, a cord, a ribbon, a hook, a chain, like a chain link, or any other or a bow and arrow. I have seen that before. And these energetic structures contain any negative energy dynamics between you and the other person. So the more difficult, intense, emotional, traumatic your relationship is with another person, with that place, with that thing, with that animal in your life, the more significant the energy cord will be to you in your life, and the more significant of an energy drain it will be for you in your life. So negative cords of attachment can create a bit of a drain of energy. If you're ever with somebody who has caused you a lot of pain or hurt in your past, and whenever you're with them in person and you feel really exhausted and tired and fatigued after being with them, it is because of this energetic cord that you have attaching you to this person that can cause you to feel really drained and overwhelmed when you leave a conversation, because the energy cord is an energy leakage to that person. So this is really, really important, because once you learn that you have these energy cords of attachment to people in your life, you can realize that you have a bit of a significant energy drain that needs to be released. And in releasing and cutting some of these significant energetic cords, they can bring you so much peace, so much calm, so much clarity in your life. So those are negative cords of attachment. Now I'm going to speak about psychic ties. So psychic ties are tiny little filaments of energy that connect us to anybody that we may come in contact with in the course of our life. It could be to acquaintances, to people on social media, to somebody's website who you look at, to your friend who you just saw in passing as you walk down the street. Psychic ties are tiny energy connections that form between you and other people. And they can form between you and another person even at a distance, again, through the media, through thinking about somebody else, through reading a book about somebody. If you have ever had an experience where you have thought about somebody and then they called you later in the day, that is because a little psychic tie was created between you and that person. So psychic ties are important to note because they do not create a significant energy drain for you. They are only these little energetic filaments that allow you to access the energy of another person so that you can go about your day-to-day life and, be human, learn about people, understand their human experience, and so forth. It's really a deep level, a deep part of our human experience. The psychic ties are present for that purpose. So the reason why I bring this up is because if you've ever watched or tried to do a cord cutting video on yourself, if you've looked up other cord cutting videos on YouTube that you've tried and you have not felt anything or had no success, and you felt like that video didn't do anything, the reason being is because you cut the psychic tie or ties with that significant person that you intended to cut the negative cord of attachment with, but in fact you only cut the psychic ties. So the process only lasted for a very short amount of time, and your negative cord of attachment is still in existence. You just simply cut the psychic ties. So with that being said, I'm talking all about the modality of cord cutting today and how you need to actually cut the negative cord of attachment to that person, place, situation, or animal in your life, and how that is going to help you so much more than just doing a traditional quick little cord cutting here by watching a video. So the reason why cord cutting is so important is because, again, it can bring us a deep level of healing within ourselves, within our relationships, especially significant relationships, and cord cutting can help us transcend from any limiting belief systems or patterns that we have in our life because of events or significant experiences that have happened to us. Cord cutting can also really help us deal with grief and with loss. When we cut the negative cord of attachment to somebody who has passed away or to somebody who played a significant role in your life when somebody else that you knew passed away. It overall helps you to release toxic emotions, burdens, and baggage from your relationships with other people or to an event that has happened to you in your life. And by releasing those toxic feelings, by releasing a lot of the emotional burden and baggage, not only are you getting a lot of your energy back, but you're also not going to be as triggered by situations involving that person or a memory of an event or something that reminds you of a person in your life or an event that has happened to you. It allows you a greater level of emotional detachment in your life. So again, you're not going to feel as triggered by certain people in your life who used to bother you a lot in the past. It also really helps with releasing addictions and codependency because you can also cut the cord of attachment to specific things like cigarettes, for example, that you have a really intense dependency on. By cutting that cord of attachment, again, it brings you your energy back so that you can get back to living a normal life. And it helps you feel so much better in your physical body. You're going to feel more grounded in your body, and your chakras are going to be more open and accessible, and your energy is going to be flowing so much more easily. So again, if I can just touch on one of the most important ways of why cutting a cord of attachment is so important. Number one, it's because it creates greater emotional detachment and a release of triggers within your life so that you're not as bothered by people and so that you can just feel so much more confident and comfortable in your everyday life. And because it also creates a greater connection to you and God, to you and the universe, to you and divine source as well, because you're releasing a lot of the negative beliefs, a lot of the negative emotions and burdens and baggage that have been holding you back for so long. So cord cutting, as you can tell, is a really amazing modality that helps you to release just a lot of emotional and energetic baggage so that you can move on with your life and you can just feel so much more comfortable moving into the next version of you, whoever that is. So a couple of misconceptions that can come up when it comes to cord cutting. Number one, the person that you are cutting the cord with is not going to experience any adverse reactions to having the cord cut. They're also not really going to notice that much on their end when you cut the negative cord of attachment. The reason being is because when you cut that cord of attachment, you are releasing on your end all of the emotions that have been flowing into that negative energy cord, and the other person is retaining anything that they have experienced on their end because they're not involved in the process. So they will remain in their own little bubble while you are getting your own bubble cleansed, right? So you're going to feel so much better when this process is over. And by cutting a cord, the other person isn't just going to cut you out of their life. You're not going to never hear from them again, and so forth. So it's not going to create any adverse reactions. You're not going to forget about the other person and so forth. Again, it really just creates this beautiful level of emotional detachment. So that one person that you might be thinking of in this moment who really gets under your skin, who really triggers you, who irritates you, who bothers you, instead of feeling irritated and bothered when you're with that person, you're just going to feel kind of like neutral. Okay, they can do that. They can go ahead and mess around in their life, but it's not going to bother me. It's not going to hurt me anymore. And you just come to that more neutral space of emotional detachment, which is so important for your own growth process. It's just going to release a lot of those heavier, difficult patterns that might have been affecting you in the past. So again, you can move forward in your life with so much more confidence and clarity. Another misconception about cord cutting is that, again, you can simply call in Archangel Michael to help you release the cord. The reason why this doesn't work is because Archangel Michael is most likely only going to help you to release the psychic ties. So we can only cut certain cords of attachment when we're ready to do so because they do bring about a bit of a healing process and a bit of an integration process. So whenever a cord of attachment is cut, we need to get permission from Source and from Archangel Michael in order to be able to do so, to make sure that you are ready for the integration process, to make sure that your energy can handle it and so forth. So if you've tried to cut a cord in the past and it didn't work, it was probably because you didn't have permission to cut it and you weren't ready for the process and what the process could bring you in your life. So the best way to cut cords is to work with someone who has been trained in the modality of cord cutting, which I have been. So as a non-biased practitioner, I can help you to cut negative cords of attachment so that you're not bothered by certain people in your life anymore, or memories of a situation or event, or by a specific place that you might have been really attached to in the past. You're going to feel like you can move on, being free of all of that stuff, and feel so much more confident in your life. But working with a non-biased practitioner will help you to see all of the negative dynamics that have been existing within that cord of attachment that you may not have been privy or aware of before if you tried to do the process on your own, which is why it's so important. Another reason why it's so important to work with a practitioner and why the cord cutting modality is so useful and why it actually works is because when I do the process, I work within the Akashic Records, which is the quantum library of every soul ever in existence, and within the Akashic Records, it allows the healing to occur at a quantum level, across all dimensions of time and space, across all levels of your consciousness. So we're cutting the cord from all levels and layers of your physical body, energy body, emotional body, astral body, and so forth within the quantum, so that you can finally actually release all of those negative dynamics from that cord. Again, this is a major energetic release, and you want the support of a practitioner in your life trained in this modality to help you through the process and to help make sure that you are ready for the integration process that can happen afterwards. So working with someone to have negative cords of attachment cut is so important. And yes, you can do all of the cord cutting videos all day, every day on your own, but they're only going to be releasing the psychic ties, and they're not going to bring about as much as relief as you were hoping to by watching some of those videos. So if you are ready to cut a negative cord of attachment in your life, again, that can be to a significant person, a relationship, a parent, a sibling, a partner, a friend, etc. It can be to a place, so it can be to a place that you lived, or it could be to your childhood home where you had bad experiences. You can cut negative cords of attachment to situations and events, such as a traumatic event that happened to you in the past. And you can also cut cords of attachment to animals and things. So if you were attacked by an animal, or if you feel a strong sense of grief or loss from losing an animal, cords of attachment can also be cut in those situations, and also to addictions and things that you might have a really unhealthy level of dependence on. So all of these different energy cords exist in your world, and by cutting them, you get your energy back, you feel better, you feel more relief, and you create, again, that beautiful level of emotional detachment so that you can remain neutral in any tricky situations that may come your way later in life. So I hope you enjoyed this explanation about cord cutting. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And if you're ready to book your cord cutting session, check out the link in the captions. And I am so excited to help you cut your cords whenever you are ready. Sending so much love.